Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Alright guys, today we're diving deep into a story that's been dominating the headlines for the Washington Commanders as they gear up for what promises to be an intense and potentially pivotal 2024 NFL season. And trust me, it's a story that has fans on edge, because it's not just about what happens on the field, but what's happening behind the scenes, affecting the team's future, and more importantly, their chances of competing at the highest level. We're talking about the ongoing contract saga with one of their most electrifying players, Terry Mclaurin. Now, this isn't just your regular negotiation. It's a storyline that could influence the entire NFC East, and who knows, maybe even the NFC as a whole. As the offseason wrapped up and training camp officially kicked off, most fans were eager to see how the Commanders would build on their promising 2023 campaign. After all, last season showed glimpses of what this team could be, especially with a talented roster that includes the likes of Mclaurin. But instead of focusing solely on the upcoming season, the biggest talking point has been the unresolved situation regarding Mclaurin's contract. And folks, this isn't just a minor disagreement. It's a standoff that's been simmering for months and has the potential to reshape the team's future. Now, for those who might not be fully caught up, let's break it down. Terry Mclaurin, one of the NFL's most consistent and reliable wide receivers, has been a cornerstone for Washington. Since entering the league, he's proven time and again that he can be a game changer. Last season, he posted a career-high 96 receiving yards and scored 13 touchdowns, showcasing that even as he approaches his 30th birthday, he still has plenty left in the tank. He's a player that any quarterback would love to have, and his leadership on and off the field has been invaluable for the Commanders. But despite his on-field success, Mclaurin is entering the final year of his current deal and is still in search of a long-term extension. And here's where things get complicated. The two sides, the player and the organization, haven't been able to come to an agreement on what the right compensation should be. It's no secret that Mclaurin is eager to be paid as one of the league's elite receivers, and he's right to feel that way given his production and importance to the team. Yet, the Commanders are taking a cautious approach, trying to balance the salary cap, the team's overall roster construction, and the negotiations themselves. During the recent mandatory minicamp, Mclaurin made a bold move. He decided to step away from the team temporarily while he continued to pursue that long-term deal. This kind of stance speaks volumes about how strongly he feels about his value and how much he wants to be part of Washington's future. But it also underscores how tense and uncertain the situation has become. As he's been waiting for a resolution, he's expressed his frustrations publicly, which only adds more pressure to the front office and the coaching staff to find a solution. Now I want to pause here for a second. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now, let us continue with the big reveal. Washington's general manager, Adam Peters, addressed the media just as veterans reported for camp, and his words were carefully chosen. Peters made it clear that the organization values Mclaurin immensely, emphasizing his leadership and his contributions on and off the field. He didn't shy away from acknowledging the ongoing negotiations, stating that the team remains committed to bringing Mclaurin back on a long-term basis. Peters said, "Without a doubt, everyone in this building values Terry very much," and reiterated that the discussions are ongoing. His message was clear: the Commanders want to keep Mclaurin, and they're doing everything they can to make it happen. What's interesting is how Peters highlighted the importance of transparency and good faith during negotiations. He pointed out that the team has had recent conversations with Mclaurin and intends to have more, emphasizing that their goal is straightforward: to get a deal done that makes both sides happy. It's a promising sign that despite the public frustrations, behind closed doors, negotiations are progressing. They deal with a player who's not only a talented athlete, but also a person of great character, making the decision to keep him in Washington a priority for the franchise. Now, let's talk about the broader picture. Mclaurin, despite approaching his 30s, has shown he can still perform at a high level. Last season, he was a vital piece in the Commanders' offense, and his chemistry with quarterback Jaden Daniels was evident. The 13 touchdowns and nearly 100 yards receiving aren't just numbers, they're proof that he remains a top-tier receiver in this league. His ability to make contested catches, create separation, and be a reliable target in clutch moments makes him indispensable for this team's offensive scheme. But the question remains, when will this contract saga be resolved? The NFL trade deadline, the start of training camp, and the looming regular season all add pressure to the situation. The Commanders are keenly aware that losing Mclaurin in free agency or via trade could create a significant void in their receiving core, and it might take a hefty investment to keep him happy. The team's management seems committed to making a long-term deal happen, but the timeline remains uncertain. This situation also raises interesting questions about the team's future direction. Will they prioritize locking in their stars early, or will they risk losing Mclaurin for nothing if they can't reach an agreement? The NFL is a business, and negotiations like this are often complex, involving not just numbers, but also team-building philosophies and long-term strategic planning. Washington has shown in the past that they're willing to spend when it counts, and with Mclaurin's recent performance, it's clear they want to keep him as part of their core. Looking at the division, the NFC East is as competitive as ever, with teams like the Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants all vying for supremacy. Washington's success hinges on several factors, but having Mclaurin locked in long-term would provide a huge boost. His presence on the field is not just about his production. It's about leadership, mentorship for younger players, and providing that reliable target that can change the course of a game in a heartbeat. Of course, the fans are watching closely, and social media is buzzing with opinions. Many believe the Commanders should prioritize keeping Mclaurin at all costs, especially given the team's recent draft picks and free agent signings that aim to build a competitive roster. Others worry that if the negotiations drag on too long, it could become a distraction, affecting team chemistry and focus heading into the season. Now, if we look at the bigger picture, the Commanders are at a crossroads. Do they pay the premium to keep Mclaurin happy and committed? Or do they hold firm, risking him walking away in free agency? The answer to that will shape their approach to other contracts and their overall strategy for 2024 and beyond. It's a delicate balancing act, but one that could determine whether Washington rises back into playoff contention or falls behind in this fiercely competitive division. And speaking of the division, let's not forget that the NFC East has become one of the toughest divisions in recent years. The Eagles, with their high-powered offense and stout defense, are a formidable opponent. The Cowboys, always ready for a fight, have built a roster that can challenge for the top spot. The Giants, on the rise, are looking to make a statement after their recent improvements. For Washington, maintaining stability at key positions like wide receiver is crucial, especially when trying to establish consistency and confidence across the entire team. So, what can fans expect moving forward? Well, if history has taught us anything, these negotiations tend to go down to the wire. The front office and Mclaurin's camp are undoubtedly working behind the scenes, trying to find common ground that respects his value and secures his future in Washington. The coming weeks will be critical, especially as the team prepares for the season opener. Will they manage to get a deal done? Will Mclaurin be on the field in Week 1, or will this saga continue into the regular season? Only time will tell, but one thing is for certain. The importance of this story goes beyond just one player. It's about the identity and future of the Washington Commanders. In the end, as fans, we want to see our team succeed, and that means having our stars happy, motivated, and locked in for the long haul. Mclaurin's situation is a reminder of how fragile and complex NFL roster planning can be, and how one player's contract can influence the entire team's trajectory. The Commanders are clearly doing everything they can to keep their star receiver, and I believe that, sooner rather than later, they'll find a way to make it work. The NFL is unpredictable, and this story isn't over yet. But one thing is for sure. Washington fans should stay tuned because the best is yet to come, and this saga might just be a prelude to an exciting chapter in the team's history. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe a deal will be reached before the season starts? Are you confident that Mclaurin will stay with the team long-term? Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. This team is full of potential, and with your support, we're going to cover every step of this journey together. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's keep the passion alive for our Commanders.